Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the whip they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
We are back. Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. I am one of your hosts, Jasiri X, the co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. We will be joined soon by the full team, but until we have, because we really need Miracle, because we're gonna get into some bullying probably probably later on in the show. To my immediate, I guess, left, right, however you're looking at the screen, you want to introduce yourself, brother?
Yeah, man, niggas love snacks, man.
Okay, so
and unless
niggas love snacks, man.
Saeed, are you snack Saeed today? You know,
man, listen,
you Soviet Saeed, you snack Saeed.
Snack it at all times, bro. You know, I'm actually hungry. I'm hungry. You know, I want to talk about this white supremacy today. I want to talk about a lot, but something I'm very happy about.
Oh, you tricked us.
That was a pleasant surprise. I like that.
Oh man, just in time. Will the topic we talk about later reignite the beef?
Twins are back, y'all. The twins.
We got.
Hey, Miracle, I still want you to go hard with your bullying later on in the show.
First of all, I am not a light-skinned bully. I'm going to set the record straight.
LSB.
A little jokey joke every now and then, but I am not the light-skinned bully. You know, some of my closest friends are light-skinned.
Okay,
you know,
yeah, I mean, you're twin.
You know,
so did you want to introduce yourself,
Miracle?
What's up? Y'all are getting y'all grub on. I don't know why this is a show y'all choose to eat in, but for whatever reason it is. And my brother, Nature.
Treble, Nature Love Shy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I think it's funny that Miracle basically said, I'm not racist, I have black friends.
We got shots coming at the top.
Next level shots.
Boo, 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 boo.
Third time, you know what I mean?
So we are. So let's get into this because
that's hilarious.
And you know, I feel like, you know, we're gonna, you know, it's funny because like it seems like we deal with a lot of legal stuff on this show. So it is dope that we have a lawyer on the show, you know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, tune in to Ask a Black Lawyer tomorrow. We're going to talk about that later as well. But, you know, one of the main things that came up was the sentencing in the case of the officer Kim Potter, who killed Dante Wright in Minnesota. This was the case where he was pulled over. I think he had a, expired tag, or they said he had a air freshener in the mirror or something. And Kim Potter, despite being an officer who has been on the force for a long time, despite she was like training other officers. He was a training officer. According to her, mistook her gun for a taser or taser for a gun, and ended up killing Dante Wright. This was, when, George Floyd and that was happening, all this stuff is happening in Minneapolis or Minnesota. This was right outside Minnesota. So the judge, I think this is what made this sentencing kind of wild, is the judge, threw on her cape, boy. She took off her robe and put on her cape. And she came to the defense of the murderer, Kim Potter. So we can play a little bit of Judge Chu is her name.
I'd like to make a few parting comments. I recognize there will be those who disagree with the sentence.
All of us.
That I granted a significant downward departure does not in any way diminish Dante Wright's life. His life mattered. And to those who disagree and feel a longer prison sentence is appropriate,
All of
as
us.
difficult as it may be, please try to empathize with Ms. Potter's situation.
Why would we do that?
What are we?
You know,
As President Barack Obama once said,
my black friend, my
learning
black
to
friend.
stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes,
Never black people.
that's how peace begins.
This is the new
And it's
misquoting
up to
MLK.
you
It's
to make
misquoting
that happen.
misquoting Barack Obama.
Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. Officer Kimberly Potter was trying to do the right thing. Of all the jobs in public service, police officers have the most difficult one.
Not true.
They must make snap decisions under tense, evolving, and ever-changing
Doing the
circumstances.
most dangerous job.
Not
They
five.
risk their lives every single day in public service.
Crocodile tears.
Officer
Here we go.
Potter made a mistake that ended tragically.
She went to the Kyle Rittenhouse School of Crying.
She
Yeah.
never intended to hurt anyone.
And that's based on what? And I think because I think like
Her conduct cries out for a sentence significantly below the guidelines.
Can you pause this, John? As she's crying, I think like, and I'll kind of come to you, Miracle, but just Dante's Wright's family responded. His mother said that accused the judge of being swayed by quote white women tears. Remember, Kim Potter took the stand and just quote unquote broke down crying and cried the whole time. You know what I'm saying? They also talked about how, remember, it was a black officer in Minneapolis named Muhammad Noor who killed a white woman. He got 12 and a half years. There wasn't, that empathy shown for him. Nobody was talking about snap decisions for that officer. And a man named John Bruning tweeted after seeing Judge Chu crying, "Strange, this wasn't Judge Chu's demeanor when she sentenced my client to 75 months for trying to break up a fight, which resulted in her deportation to a country she hasn't been since he was a child and separation for her own young children." So it seems that oftentimes this empathy is only for white people when we talk about putting ourselves in our shoes. And to be honest, I mean, I don't know, is Barack Obama even black? I think we're going to question that a little bit later on in the show. So we'll get into that when she quoted Barack Obama. But is there, I assume now, I might be wrong, Miracle, I'm gonna come to you. I assume that like the judge was supposed to only weigh the evidence, the actual evidence. I didn't know that the judge would get emotionally invested in something to the point where, she's crying it was almost like she didn't want to sentence Kim Potter to anything at all.
Correct.
That she just had to give her at least 2 years, but she didn't want to give her anything at all because this was a quote tragic mistake. I thought she's only supposed to look at the evidence and judge impartially, that justice is blind and the whole blind bullshit. If that's not the case,
I mean, it's not the case. You can take in extenuating circumstances, and me more than anyone is like, yes, I want judges to see empathy and all of the defendants. I want judges to bring second chances automatically to the people and always do downward departures. What makes this harmful is that if you follow the case, Kim Potter did not just shoot Dante. She refused to give him medical aid and prevented the other officers on the scene to give him medical aid. What is problematic is that she was a trainer who had the knowledge and responsibility more than anyone on that scene to make sure Dante made it home. And she failed when she shot him. She failed when she gave him medical aid. And she failed when she prevented her other comrades from helping Dante and making sure he made it home. So to sit there and say that because she dedicated her life to public service, she gets to get a pass and still doesn't have to apologize is one of the reasons why people are so frustrated with this system. Because at the end of the day, why is the judge crying? She didn't lose a life. She went above and beyond to do, and her words were a significant departure. She didn't even do half what was requested, which would have been in 3.5. It was 7 years people were asking. She did 2 and included good behavior and time served. She's not even going to do the full 2 years, right, and went on to sit there and be like, I know you're not going to like this, but let me tell you what I did and the reasons why. And to sit there and say she put such a police on a pedestal, what does that mean for people who are coming to the criminal justice system and getting charged? You mentioned the case of the person going through immigrant court and being deported. Is she then also doubling time for Black and brown people in her courtroom? And I'd be very interested to see what that analytics look like, and if she usually defers to the prosecution, because that would show not only a miscarriage of justice, but an open outward bias to protect police officers from harm and to punish people that police have already traumatized.
I think that's what it said. I did just want to say one thing before I come to you, Farouk. The full quote was, this is Dante Wright's mother. She said that this is the problem with our justice system today. White women tears trump justice. And I thought my white woman tears would be good enough because they're true and genuine. Dante Wright's mother is also a white woman talking about white woman tears. I just want to put that in context. Farouk?
I didn't know that his mom was white. That's powerful. That's allyship also. Not only did she lose his son, but she's speaking out against something that we recognize that have been weaponized against us is these tears. I will go further to say is that this is what we mean when we say Black people can't be racist, right? We don't control any construct of this, this racial system that we live that has a boot on our neck. If this would have been a Black judge, right, giving somebody Black accused of crime,
right,
a disbarment would be immediate.
Right.
Fox News would be on this, the outrage and the fallout. They'd be calling, imagine someone like Judge Mathis or like Judge Joe Brown saying something,
we had something like that here in Pittsburgh, brother, where a judge named Joe Williams talked openly in court about how he actually refused a shorter sentence for a white defendant. This had to be maybe 10 years ago.
I'm sorry.
And he talked about, it's another time you're trying to give these white boys and less time because they're white, and it became a big deal. And there was a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, take. I guess you're gonna just eat your salad. I guess he was gonna assume I'm gonna talk for a long time. So, but you're right. I mean, it would be, this is reverse racism. It would be, what the hell's going on? You're 100% right.
Imagine if Lance Ito was Black.
Right, 100%
during the OJ trial.
Right.
Imagine.
Well, remember, OJ. Remember, the jury was lambasted because there were Black people in the jury. There's a common thing in courtrooms to try to get Black people off the jury, to try to use your strikes to get people off the jury and get Black and brown people off the jury. I mean, so we already know, like you said, we know how the system works. We know the system disproportionately affects us. And that's the thing. It's like that empathy never goes two ways, right? You're never putting yourselves in our shoes. We saw that last week with Shakari and the white Russian skater. Like, empathy for the white women, no empathy, no love for us. You had something else you wanted to add, Farouk?
No, I was asking Miracle for some food.
You were asking her for the salad dressing. Trouble, what do you think about Judge Chu?
So I think that firstly, I want to say that I recognize how painful it is to see someone who showed clear disregard for someone's life to get a lighter sentence. And claiming that she served the public, in my eyes, I feel like she served property, but that's a different conversation.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like she needs to properly atone for what she did. If you're going to give her a lighter sentence, then something needs to be done as far as her relationship with the community and her knowledge of why the context of what she did is wrong. And but I also see this as an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you could show this white woman empathy. Then when I'm sitting in that courtroom, I'm going to demand every bit of empathy that you've shown these white perpetrators. And I'm not backing off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think that's a great point. Like, it obviously there's discretion. And this is why, you know, one of the things that we did kind of on our One Hood Power side is we were involved in the election of these judges. We had 8 judicial openings in Allegheny County, the county where we are in Pittsburgh, and we really pushed to get these 5 progressive judges in. 3 of the judges are Black women, all of them were women, but it was because of the issues that we're seeing, right? That you know, obviously that the judges have discretion, but like you said, to go back to Miracle's point, it would be interesting to see what her record is on Black and brown defendants, and do we have that empathy? And that's the frustrating part, right? And you know, you mentioned other white defendants. You know, one of them famously recently was Kyle Rittenhouse, right? Kyle Rittenhouse and another white dude that put his tears on. You know, these white people get up there, they cry. And there was another case where, you know, the judge was clearly on the side of Kyle Rittenhouse from the beginning. Like, from the beginning, he showed in his ways and actions and his talking that he was for Kyle Rittenhouse, even like letting him choose. I mean, it's just like letting him choose which jurors. I forget what that judicial process was crazy. Kyle Rittenhouse did an interview, I guess, with Tucker Carlson, another just avowed white supremacist, you know, with a platform. Kyle Rittenhouse said he's going to sue the media and specifically targeted Whoopi Goldberg for calling him a murderer. I'm coming to you, Miracle, again. Get your shoe on, get your last shoe on. Is this dedicated? Is this dedicated to the judge? So
it's stupid.
Is that possible?
No, because he is a murderer. He's not a convicted murderer, but a murderer is the taking of a life of another. You took someone's life, you are a murderer. You are not a criminal murderer because the state said you are not going to be convicted. You may have had a proper defense to the act of murder, but you are a murderer, and anyone can call you a murderer until the day you die and beyond. You took somebody's life, you are a murderer. Point blank and simple. Murder somebody. He took somebody's life, he killed them, he can go on about his day. He's trying to do another grift and trying to get people to, you know, support him and feel empathy for him. And if he wanted that, he should have stayed at home and not crossed state lines with a weapon and took someone's life.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like that. It does seem like he hasn't been in the public eye for a while. He wants to kind of jump back out there, and he wants to get some type of, you know, sympathy again. He wants people to come to his aid. He probably got a GoFundMe. Remember, it was a whole bunch of Christian people that claimed to turn the other cheek that raised like $500,000 for this dude. You know what I'm saying? After he went out really with an AK-47, really looking for trouble. Any comment on Kyle Rittenhouse suing Twin 2 and Trouble?
Whatever happened to Sticks and Stones? Right?
It is weird, right? Because the particularly with the right, like the it's always like, oh, freedom of speech, you know. Yeah, Joe Rogan, they want freedom of speech of Joe Rogan to call us nigger like 20 times, but then if Whoopi Goldberg rightfully calls Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer, now they want her to be sued. It is weird that we see that, right?
Kyle Rittenhouse, like Miracle, you said it was a grift. This kid has something that so many of our Black youngers don't have the opportunity, which is a complete clean start after an obvious crime, right? It's not to say that, you know, our Black youth are guilty all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But when tried, they're guilty in the court of public opinion. True. And that's what matters. Kyle Rittenhouse murdered 2 people, shot another person, right? And he's a media darling. He is
right-wing white people, yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. I mean, all media, really, because he's going to have a place in media Case in point, we're talking about him right now.
Yeah,
What,
yeah. Yeah,
You know
and
what I
if he want, you remember I think there were senators or Congress people like offered him a job, like said like you can come work for us. So he definitely was embraced open arms by Trump and right wing people that alike. So I mean, you're absolutely right. Trouble, do you have any comment on Cal?
I think it's interesting how he's building a legacy off of being this contrarian, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm starting to see that he's really building up a platform of like passive white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I got away with this murder. Now you're not going to slander my name because I'm trying to build, my brand off of the fact that I murdered people at a protest. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't see it as murder. He sees it as, I don't know how the fuck he sees it. But it's like, bro, if it barks, I'm going to call it a dog.
Right.
And you're just going to have to eat that.
Yeah, it is weird. I think it goes to kind of like Farouk. One, like Miracle said, I mean, by definition, he murdered somebody. He's a murderer by definition. And so like, I'm sorry that I'm calling you something by definition, but I think it goes to this wider point of like what becomes, when we're champion, like, oh, that's free speech. And then, when it's, we say something negative about Trump, oh, sue him, take him off the air, he should be canceled. And so it is weird that we walk this fine line,
Not that there wasn't a precedence for it before, but we didn't have the age of transparency that we do now. This is really fallout that was pretty much predicated on the I don't say exoneration, but like the not guilty verdict of George Zimmerman, right? The inspiration was kind of laid from that right there.
Very true.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, this is not to say that we haven't had these vigilantes before that have killed black people.
Right.
It's just that it wasn't as widely accessible. The information of it wasn't as widely accessible until that moment that we all had to relive. And then now, from Emmett Till to Trayvon, this time, this isn't anything new. White people love to kill, right, black people and other poor whites indiscriminately.
I think not only that, but I think are traditionally celebrated for it, right?
And that's what what I was getting to. It's like they get so much revere, right? It's all and it goes to that fascination of the trivialization of a human body.
True. And I think that cowboy analogy you made in the wake of it is
he really is like
he rings true.
You know what I mean? I need to find that video because I drop bombs on that.
You had something you want to add, Miracle?
Yeah, and I think since Ferg brought it up, talking about George Zimmerman, people forget that Sean Hannity and Fox News, day in and day out, repeatedly used anti-blackness to make sure that George Zimmerman was freed, including financially supporting the attorneys. Right. And so what we saw here with Kyle Rittenhouse is Tucker Carlson and I forgot the other Fox News contributor doing the same thing, not only pushing the GoFundMe and the fundraising, but basically day in and day out justifying what this person did. And when we talk about stoking race wars or violence, we have to also remember that it's traditionally been the media that has created the circumstances that allow people to get away with murder, whether it was the racial-based riots, whether it was happening at Black Wall Street, whether it was like the lynching of Black and Jewish people. It has always been this concerted partnership between white supremacists and media outlets that work hand in hand together. And so for people to be shocked or upset this is happening is because they haven't been paying attention, and they really have benefited from white supremacy protecting them and isolating the realities of the world.
Yeah, so I did have a quick question for you, Miracle. We just saw this week also that, the McMichael father-son duo and whoever the other white guy were found guilty of federal hate crimes. This is on top of them being found guilty, and it's looking like they're going to do, life or at least 30 years in a state prison for Ahmaud Arbery's death. Does this change anything in the face of kind of what we're seeing with Potter and Rittenhouse and all of these white people that are able to? Is this just is this like the white sacrifice so everybody else could go free? How do we view this?
Not necessarily. And the reason I say that is because there have been very few conversations about changing the legal community. And for people who forgot, the only reason those men are in jail is because one of their friends, who was an attorney, released the video. Prior to that, multiple attorneys had put in paperwork basically saying there was nothing wrong that these gentlemen did. The DA had even refused to bring a charge. Even investigate the case. It had to be turned over to multiple district attorneys until a Black district attorney got involved. And the problem is it cannot be incumbent upon Black people to take up positions in white supremacy to stop white supremacy. It cannot be on Black prosecutors and Black district attorneys and Black attorney generals. It has to be an overall change, and that has not happened. And what really harmed the McMichaels is that they were so brazen. They did it in daylight. Again, one of the last things that Ahmaud Arbery heard was a racial slur uttered against him by these white men. Right. And they were on text message threads and emails. With all type of slurs. Nothing has changed. All of these police officers who last year were exposed to being in these racist group chats, they're not fired. So the same system is still there. The same behavior is still there. The only difference is no one has been blatant enough to chase someone down and kill them in sunlight. But no, it hasn't been a change at all.
And I think, like you said, if somebody doesn't release the video, if their friend doesn't really, and they release the video on some look, you can see it was self-defense type of thing. Like they actually released the video thinking it would somehow exonerate them. They are still probably, going free. So you do have a great point. I guess we can say, speaking of, I don't know what we call would Trump be like the king of white supremacy right now? Would he be?
He's a demagogue. Yeah.
So Trump's had an interest. We haven't talked about, does the T stand for Teflon and Big T, man? Because it seems like
it has to,
seems like this dude, regardless of what he's caught doing,
big triumph,
finds a way to get out. So we found out that Trump likes to flush documents down toilets. They said the White House toilets were routinely clogged because Trump was flushing documents down the toilet. They said he was shredding documents. They said when the January 6th committee got some of Trump's documents that they were actually taped back together because he shredded them and they weren't supposed to be shredded. They said he put shredded documents in burn bags that he was not supposed to do. And lo and behold, he had 15, boxes of classified documents at his personal residence that he had to return to the National Archives. Again, and
he's like the best scrapbooker ever. His scrapbook is going to lead the world into World War III, and he couldn't be happier. It's just my new hobby. I scrapbook. World secrets.
It's just so wild to me because Obama had to be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Dope down the toilet.
But that's what I'm saying. Remember, somebody talked about at the end of Goodfellas where
Henry Hill, man,
trying to run in there. His wife ran in there and was throwing everything down the toilet.
So for me, I don't really care. This is one of the things that I'm probably the least concerned about his presidency for. I just want to know: is there documents on a hollow earth? Can you give us some UFO information? Right? That's it. Don't shred that shit. Put that shit out. The rest of it, I'm not really that interested about.
But I think that the thing is, I guess why people are interested, and I'll come to you, Treble, because it looks like Miracle has a mouthful of whatever she's eating. I'll come to you, Treble, because it's illegal. I think it's illegal, right? Having these classified documents outside of the White House is illegal, right? One. Two, remember Trump made the whole thing about the emails that Hillary Clinton had these emails on her private server. Therefore, it was, breaking a protocol and breaking national security. So you made this big huff about her emails and that being a threat to national security. They said he was showing and handing out top secret classified evidence at his personal residence. Is this something to do about trouble nothing, or is this just another thing that Trump is going to get away with?
So I'm starting to notice a pattern here and why Trump is so
A straight up criminal.
I feel like Trump is kind of like the face of white privilege right now.
Oh my
You know
god!
what I'm saying?
The face, the
'Cause,
ass, the
Yes,
the legs.
because there are things that he can do that I can only imagine what
Come on,
people
bro.
would say if
on,
Obama
bro.
was doing.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine if it came out that Obama was flushing documents down the toilet.
Bro, these
All
people
of a sudden, he's a gangbanger, and
100%.
this nigga, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
He's conspiring with people to overthrow. I don't know. They'll make up some
the
crazy
nigga put
shit.
on a tan suit and they acted like he had a do-rag and a Dickie suit on and some stuff.
He might as well have wore that.
And was crip walking at the damn press conference.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
when Obama was running his first term, I remember white people, and I've said this before on the show, thinking they weren't going to vote for him because he was going to bring back slavery.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, that's already enough to unpack, but he hadn't even touched the White House yet. Trump was in the White House with national security documents.
Yes.
Classified documents.
On the toilet.
On the toilet, wiping with them and then flushing them.
I mean, I
He
think
said, I'm gonna back this shit up one way or another.
But but it's like we're laughing. Remember, on the campaign trail, Trump famously said, "I can shoot a person
Yeah.
in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York and get away with it." And it looks like that's the case. I mean, Miracle, he they said that he's gonna have to testify in this case that Tish James is bringing in him in New York City. They said his children are gonna have to testify. He's been on record as saying that if you plead the fifth, that's like saying you're guilty. What's going to happen when this dude has to testify? Or is there a chance with all of this criminality? Is there a chance that something sticks to Big T, Big Teflon?
Probably not.
Remember that Dave Chappelle skit? I plead the fifth.
Right, 100%.
Everyone should plead the fifth. Like, please, like, shut up. Don't talk to a cop. Let your lawyer do the talking for you. Like,
Miracle's a lawyer. She knows.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Not my lawyer. I'm just saying she knows because she's a lawyer. That's why she hosts Ask a Black Lawyer.
Absolutely.
Look at you. Getting back to my good
Cross promotion.
Appreciate it. You know what I mean? But I think his kids are going to go down. I think he's the type of person that he's going to do a loyalty test.
Yes.
And his kids are going to take the fall for him. Like,
It's going to be Secession, right? Secession on
Don't spoil it for me.
Secession played out. What?
Don't spoil it for me.
Oh, I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you haven't watched it, it's a great show.
That's how I feel. I think that Trump has been very smart. I mean, he literally is doing obstruction of justice and destroying
in plain sight. In plain sight.
In plain sight, destroying public property, destroying evidence, doing all this type of stuff. And they're like, oh, that should Trump being Trump again. And we've kind of accepted that when these white men do violent things and stuff, they're just like a bumbling idiot. 100%. And we allow their violence to go on under pretext of stupidity 100%. When really it is just unabashed privilege and white supremacy. And here we are. But no, he ain't going. He probably, literally, if he gets a charge, I'm gonna be shocked.
Trump really is like a comic book criminal mastermind.
If he just touches the jail, I'm gonna be like, oh wow.
He's Kingpin. Trump is Kingpin from Marvel.
Yeah, well, and I think like Miracle said it best. It's kind of like this thing of like he said so much wild, crazy, dumb stuff that you just like you said, like, and he's done so much. He's gotten away. I mean, grab her by the whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is a shithole country. I mean, he's said wild stuff. He's done wild stuff. I mean, the dude. Remember, I mean, we're looking at if you're a sports fan like Deshaun Watson. Like Deshaun Watson got accused by 22 women as an NFL player, rightfully so. The NFL said you ain't playing. Trump done had 22, 23, 26 women accuse him. Not one day did he step down as president. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's just he's able to get away with so much, and it's just like, what will it take? I mean, if there was video of Trump shooting and killing somebody, I don't even know if that'll be enough evidence. It's just wild that we're in this place. But here we are. It's looking like it's going to be Trump 22. It's looking like he's going to come back and be president again.
When we come back to this moment in 2 years, right? When Trump's already in the Oval Office again, he's got his feet up on the desk.
Okay, Tim Scott.
Right. What you say?
Trump and Tim Scott as his VP.
Trump and Tim Scott, right? And Eric Adams is probably going to be there. You know what I mean? In some capacity. You know, he's going to have Candace Owens in there. You know, like it's. Yeah. But we're going to have to look at this reality, and all we can say is you heard it on This Week in White Supremacy.
You heard it on This Week in White Supremacy. Well, you had mentioned slavery, Farouk, and
can I introduce this?
It called yes, if you would like to.
There is this.
But just to set it up, so like when, and this is kind of we talked about Sha'Carri Richardson and I think her name is Camilla. I forget her last name, but the Russian
something very very Cold War-ish.
Yeah, that was 15 that she got found guilty of. She was found guilty of taking a performance enhancement drug. But they had empathy for her. The IOC came out, Sha'Carri, where was my empathy? I just smoke weed. They said, oh, this case isn't the same. Race has nothing to do with it. So Sha'Carri went into the crates and she pulled out some receipts. So if you want to introduce this, for
she pulled out. So Sha'Carri Richardson said, "I got time."
She had time. Yes,
I got time today.
Yes,
said ain't no races being run right now. I got time, my nigga. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did with my Twitter fingers. I found a former chair of the Olympic International Committee, the IOC, who had one of the illest screen names before screen names, right? My brother had one of the illest screen names before we was even on social media and them things. My nigga's nickname was Slavery Avery. I couldn't make this up if I tried. I'm good. Listen, my audience, I promise you, I'm good. I'm not that fucking good. My nigga got a sombrero on with the ear-to-ear grin with no lips, right? He ain't got no lips with the sombrero, and his name is Slavery Avery Brundage.
His rap name is ill. He was like, yo,
this is some 8 Mile shit. Like, yo, really and truly, big man thing, yeah? This is some 8 Mile shit.
He hopped in the cipher like, they can call me.
I can't even come to the rave unless I got my slaves.
So, if you all can't read the picture, it says Avery Brundage, who earned
Slavery Avery. No lips in this bitch. Just whips.
It says, yo, bring that picture back. It says
who earned the nickname Slavery.
He earned the nickname. He earned it.
How do you earn? It's 19.
Anti-Black racism served as the president of the International Olympic Committee from 1952 to 1972.
Slavery's been abolished for like 200 years at that point. Like so how did you earn that? Like, did you still have property? Like, how? How?
If you earned the name Slavery,
that means you own somebody.
I mean, yo, that's
only earn things through action. So, like, did you like go to South Africa and just buy black people?
Hey, yo, I mean,
I'm about to call this nigga no lip slavery.
Man, oh my God, just think about like how anti-black he must have. How anti-black this, but this look, he was the president of the IOC for 20 years. I think this is the point of yeah, you can bring slavery back, please. No, not slavery, period. Is this nigga still alive? Yo, where is his family? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got some planning to do.
Oh my God. But 20 years, and I think like it shows like, and this was Sha'Carri's point, right? The fact that you were so racist that they nicknamed you Slavery did not, that you still was able to run the IOC for 20 years. Like that didn't mean, you know, it's all types of black. Think about all types of black athletes. Think about all of the black countries that participate in the Olympics. None of that mattered
to the international opposition of coons.
And it certainly didn't matter to slavery. Slavery was saying, fuck all y'all.
Hold on. So you remember the iconic fist salute at the Olympics?
He was the one who took the medals.
He
took the medals. I just thought about
and got them kicked out of the Olympic Village. He refused because I'm doing my Googles right now.
Yes,
Smith and John Carlos.
He literally created the position that said politics and sports cannot go together. So all the athletes who do political things and how they get banned and policed at the Olympics, he created that policy. He also welcomed apartheid sports teams because he didn't want like the colors playing in his Olympic games. So he allowed like South Africa and other teams to have like all white teams coming through. He banned and prevented like Muhammad Ali from getting his boxing title because he was out here like fighting for freedoms. So he did a lot of things to actually harm people and really has set the tone for the discrimination policies against Black women, doing that whole like gender testing and everything. And it's been slavery. Avery was out here wilding.
So they said that in 2020 that he that they, they had his bust in the San Francisco Asian Art Museum, that they removed it. They said he was infamous for not just racism, but also anti-Semitism and sexism. Slavery.
He's your garden variety white supremacist.
100%. You know what I'm saying? It said, it's crazy. You have anything on slavery trouble? Did you have, what I'm saying?
Just that he's part of the No Lip Society. That's all I had to say about him.
Oh my God. So shout out to Shakar. And it just shows, like, what I'm saying? Like, again, like, this is, he was infamous for racism, sexism, anti-Semitism.
Hold up. I want to know who gave him the nickname because that's an ill nigga.
Hey, yo.
That's an ill motherfucker.
Hey, bro. If there was a nickname Hall of Fame, Slavery Avery, that's top 5 all time, my nigga. Slavery Avery,
my dad said he grew up with a kid that he called him Rick the Sodomist. That was an ill nickname.
Hey, that's slavery. Avery.
That's something that's earned.
That's what I'm saying. So how did that's what I'm saying? Nicknames are generally earned. So how did he earn? You had to have bought somebody, bro. He bought somebody.
Hey, yo! Shout out to Shakari Richardson.
He was a human trafficker.
If we could give a medal for a tweet, I would give that to Shakari Richardson for introducing us to Slavery Avery. Now, speaking of tweets, there was another controversial tweet involving the Olympics.
Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers.
around race. No, we're gonna go to John. We want to go to the Olympic skeleton. There is a United States skeleton.
Hold on, this just in. Miracle will not be part of this thing.
It did say on our pre-production thing that Miracle is not. Miracle? You're gonna have to comment on this. We want to. So go to the tweet first, John. Go to the tweet first. So Kelly Curtis, I believe is her name, and she was getting attention for being the first Black woman to participate in the United States skeleton team. Can we pull up this picture of? And this is a tweet. This is Kelly Curtis, and this was a tweet from Black Women Code, which they said this woman, Kelly Curtis, is currently being coined the first Black U.S. skeleton athlete. Biracial people are not Black. Anything less than 2 Black parents mean you can't sit with us. It says Miracle. We got to check Miracle's Twitter logins.
It's a burner account. It's Miracle's burner account.
I don't know how to
Biracial. Okay. And if you still uphold the 1-drop rule in 2020, you're a white supremacist. So,
listen. I thought this was Brooke Shields. Right? I thought that was Brooke Shields.
She does look like. I mean, she's white, but I think this is the piece. She is white presenting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they got her in a picture with some snow. That makes it even worse. It's like they really driving this point home, bro. Like they really trying to make it like this is a PR move right here. I know a stage photo when I see one. Goddamn it.
Well, we did find a picture of her dad. If you could just show her dad real quick, John, and then we'll come back to Kelly.
Yeah, I want to see what's this nigga look like.
Her dad is John Curtis, I believe is her dad's name. This is her dad.
No, where's the color photo of him? It's a black and white. Oh no.
He do look yellow and black and white.
Miracle said they could. This is
look at. I mean, that's
this is 1964. Look, Miracle, he got a
rights.
And Miracle, he got the pork chops. He got the pork chop side.
Yeah, man.
He got. Look at his hair. His hairline is messed up.
That's a black man. That's a black man.
First of all, how old is she?
How old is she?
She's in her 20s.
Yes, I believe she's in her 20s. Yes.
Yes.
And the photo of her father is from like the 1940s.
Miracle, yo, you want to take her to Maury Povich, Miracle?
No, I'm just trying to figure out why that
is. Miracle wants to take her to Maury Povich. I don't know. Let me see.
That could be her father, but like my thing is, you in the trenches, you can't get a photo of your father looking recent and nice.
That was that was
deceased. You know, got arrested. That there's a reason for that, but like
that was me just doing my Googles to show. You know what I'm saying? That like, okay, she's 33. So she's 33 years old.
She should be on Facebook somewhere with a recent photo. I'm just like the gall to be like, let me show you who I am. And it's the picture that could be my grandmother's yearbook.
The question I think is Miracle. Obviously,
I can't have this conversation because you just reunited. We just reunited. And friendship is about boundaries, and so I can't participate in this conversation. I will say is why is that photo from like the 1960s?
That was a photo I found, Miracle, because she said her dad played for the Jets. I found that photo. I'm sure there's a recent photo of her dad. If we could try to find the photo, but that's her dad. He played for the Jets. He looks like a black man.
He is a black man, and she, for all intents and purposes, may identify as black. Her identity, as we've seen, is up to her choosing and how she identifies. And did she identify as black? Her whole entire life. Did she welcome the title? Was she black in middle school and high school? Of how she identified. I think it's very important that, as we saw with the guy from the Dolphins, that not every biracial person identifies as black. Yeah. What did Tiger say? He was
Cabo-Caucasian?
Yeah, and so, but I will say that one drop rule is 100% correct, because you cannot have descendants of colonizers and slavers saying that they have access to gatekeep culture that they only had access to through violence and white supremacy, number one. Yeah. And number two, in addition to your genetics, it's also your culture and what you were raised in, and the education and the love, support, and appreciation you have for Blackness that also makes you Black. Right. And I think that's very important. A lot of times we they have their great grandmother may have been. It's like, nah, you indigenous folks. Like, you can't sit with us. You don't know our language. You don't know our food. You don't know our prayers. You don't know our history, our culture. You're not indigenous. And so I think that, yes, there's some gatekeeping that comes with race and ethnicity.
I bet you do.
That is there, but at the end of the day,
how you do Ancestry.com. Miracle wants her Ancestry.
Because
Miracle wants to go back to her
Ancestry, then try to say the first one to do was say the N-word.
No, I'm saying you like one. You want to see her middle school Facebook post where you celebrating Black History Month back in 1995, Kelly.
Like in 2015.
In 1995, how did you feel about the Million Man March? Like, were you down with it?
Or was OJ innocent? It was Michael Jackson innocent. Did your mom clean your house every Sunday to Anita Baker?
See, I might have a hot take on this subject. I want to know what y'all think about this.
That's why Trevor sitting there with
Trevor was waiting.
I will
Listen.
say, hold on. I don't take people's blackness away from them unless I know it's 100% performative. I have never taken your blackness away from you.
I didn't say
no,
that.
you set up.
No, I'm just setting up.
You set up. And I've never taken your blackness away from you.
You have not. You have
never
not.
taken any ways except for Rachel Dolezal and that German
And
heifer.
Diallo.
And then that German heifer who got the little injections to be black because her boyfriend wanted to date an African woman.
Who? Yeah, that is absolutely crazy.
Mess.
Yeah, don't even Google it. It's terrible.
I have friends who are passable. I have friends who choose to pass as white and are white presenting.
You got black friends?
I do. I have black friends, but people. I'm saying I understand.
Your best friend is biracial.
The complexity of blackness, and I
your twin is biracial.
I traditionally do not take people's black cards. I don't do the black fishing and the fakeness. But Treble, you leaned in.
Treble, give us your hot take. I'm ready for this.
My hot take is not a shot at anybody on this show. It is directly projected at the tweet itself. You
about to come from
the tweet itself. Yes.
Not even. So the tweet said that biracial people. So it said biracial people are not black. Correct. And anyone that follows the one drop rule is a flat out white supremacist.
Yeah,
right?
In 2022. Correct.
I think that statement alone, ironically, is white supremacist because it's a characteristic of white supremacy called one right way, implying that there's only one right way to be black. Like there's not a whole diaspora of blackness. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's like I understand culturally, yes, certain people try to wear this black cape like it's a fucking title. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you identify as black, you have a black parent, it's in your blood. I don't think it's any of our right to take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like anyone has the authority to say who's black and who's not, you know?
Well, 100%. I think like you said, the question of it's performative, right? Like, you know, when we talk about like the rapper Logic, who's white presenting, a lot of people felt like it was performative because in every other line, he wanted to tell you he got a black dad. He got a black dad. Is that okay? So that's how he looks now. So what? He don't look black?
That's not what I said. I did not say he didn't look
black. Is that a different guy?
I did not. That's him now. That is what he looks like now.
Did he turn white, Miracle?
I didn't say he turned white.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he wasn't white. I mean, I didn't say he wasn't black. I'm just you said I was just a recent picture of what he looks like.
Yeah, but I think the idea, just like you said, clearly, I think, you know, black women on code, whatever. I mean, clearly it's like trolling in a sense when you say biracial people ain't black because I mean, you're saying like you ain't down with Colin Kaepernick, he ain't black.
Bob so that Marley means we never had a black president then,
right? Obama's not black. I mean,
you can. There's so many people that you like Prince.
100%. There's so many black biracial people, and so like the idea that like, oh well, because they had a white parent, you know, of course your brethren, Farouk, you know, your light skinned brethren, a fellow rapper from Canada, you know what I'm saying? So like the idea. What'd you say?
The Weeknd? Cardinal Official? Who you talking about?
I'm talking about Drake, brother. Your brother Drake. So I mean, I think that idea of like you said, it's like who, and that's like you said. I think policing blackness gets kind of weird, but I do.
That was too very strict. So, like
no. You're. I think I was gonna say I do wonder, right? Because I think it does. Like, did you grow up with black cultural things? You know what I'm saying? I think that does matter. You know what I'm saying? As somebody that was, you know, I was raised in a way where my mom was like, we are black, period, in the story. We ain't mixed with nothing. You black. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's something that she drilled in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So we grew up with black cultural practice. I can't speak for Kelly, but it would be interesting to see because she is white presenting. Like, did she identify as that? You know what I'm saying? And were her parents, you know, because I think, and just before I go to you, Trouble, I haven't seen the Netflix documentary about Colin Kaepernick, but from what we understand, like his parents were like, yo, like, learn your culture, study your culture. You're black, and kind of put that in him. Go ahead, Trouble.
I was just gonna say, I also wonder how much space she takes up in, you know, black spaces and black causes, because like, while I'll never take anyone's blackness away from them, I do find it weird when certain, you know, white white, you know, black people try to become like social justice warriors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they try to be like the face of the cause. And it's like, bro, I know you're black. You ain't got to shout it to the streets.
Right.
But take a back seat. You know what I'm saying? Know how you look and how people perceive you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, play more of a support role, maybe.
Right.
You know?
Right. But I mean, so I mean, yeah, you're right. Our biracial brother on the panel, you're kind of quiet. Do you have anything that you want to say to or about this subject?
I've existed in both sides of the spectrum. Like not too long ago, my barber's brother is lighter than me, right? He's like white, and my youngest brother is white passing. So my barber's brother was in the chair across from me one day. He just kept saying nigga, and I kept looking, and I was like, Dev, I'm like, this is your spot, so I'm not gonna start no shit in your spot. I'm like, but you keep letting this white man say nigga? Because I was like, bro, I'm gonna catch him outside. He's like, that's my brother. He black. I was like, oh shit. And so I had to check myself, because as someone who's been checked about saying the N-word and checked about my blackness before question, right? I had to be like, oh, okay. Now I'm on both sides of these cards. But and also I had this conversation with my youngest brother who is white passing. I was like, bruv, he dates pretty much exclusively white women. I was like, your children ain't gonna be able to say the N-word. Like your children cannot say the N-word, bruv. I'm like, and you with these green eyes and a shaved head, and now you in an American military uniform, you have to be careful of how you say the N-word.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, I know you're my brother. We grew up together. I know what your parents look like. I know your culture. Right. But these other, like, a lot of these people that you're going to encounter don't. And, and this becomes a very unique space that we live in with ADOS and with, all these things. Like, it's such like, it's, and I was talking about this earlier today. It's difficult enough being black.
True.
It's difficult enough being black. Like, bro, me and you right now, the winter ain't our friend when it comes to melanin.
I'm pale in a mug, man.
You know what I mean?
I'm hurting over here. Super pale.
But in the summer, we get a little bit more identifiable.
Yeah. And I got filters. I can put my
right. You said that the other day. I was weak. But it's already difficult enough being black. Blackness is universal. The experience ain't. It's already difficult enough being black in the world today.
Right.
But when we retreat to our own sanctity of blackness, to have other people in our community question us because we're light.
Yeah.
And this isn't, and please don't mistake this for light skin tears and nothing like that. All I'm saying is
you ain't going out like Thandi. I'm sorry. I took you.
I'm sorry. I'm the one.
I took your women. I'm
taking all the women. My Instagram stories be popping with your girl. Like, no, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm not saying them things.
But I see
what I'm saying, though. You see what I'm saying?
I do. Right. It's like, because like, you get identified differently in different spaces. You know what I'm saying? And so like everybody got their own struggle. But to say like, I think like, and it kind of goes back to what Trouble said, like we didn't institute. It's not like we instituted the one drop rule. It's not like this was something that we decided. You know what I'm saying? This was something that was decided. And a lot of it was decided based on who can hold power and property. And it was white people wanting it to be in purely white hands. You know the deal.
I just thought about this. All these people with all this anti-light skin energy, how come they don't ever say nothing about the minister?
I mean, I think, right.
Is he above it? Is the minister just...
I don't know, but just like you said, Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm X, it's a lot of, like I said, like,
even Elijah was light as shit for real.
Right, Elijah Muhammad. Are you saying you're not with Colin Kaepernick? Are you saying you're not bumping Obama?
I would say because Colin Kaepernick had white parents.
Right.
He was adopted,
He was adopted, but he's biracial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like when we get into that,
Mariah Carey, who doing the best she can with what she got.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I think when you get into it, it does kind of begin to get, like you said, you can get funny, and it's like you said, like celebrate and respect and love the people, particularly like I think more of a question because we done seen black, we got Loretta Lynch, we got black people that are actively fighting against.
I don't know her.
That are
I know where he's going. That's why.
No, I was gonna say we have black people that are actively fighting against like the rise of our community and our people. So whatever Kelly's doing, what I'm saying, hopefully she's doing well. I don't know if she's gonna win a medal. Shout out to the black woman speed skater. I think her name was Erin Jackson that won the medal. Like shout out to those people that are doing a thing. But let's save our organizing against these black people that are actually when Tim Scott runs with Donald Trump, what you gonna say to him? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what we need to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of yeah.
So is Kamala not black?
Well, she's biracial, right? I mean, they would say no. You know what I'm saying? They black code girls on code would say no, she's not. And there's a question if she's actively fighting. I don't know what's up with these black women lawyers that's up here.
What about
see how
see that? You see how that anti-black woman just popped out for no reason? That misogynoir.
Woo! It's just weird. It's weird.
First of all, they are just setting their boundaries and how they interpret the world as they see it, as they navigate this world of white supremacy. And I found it funny how we had this juxtaposition of these light-skinned black people and these dark-skinned coons to have this conversation.
Here we go. Wait, Loretta Lynch is Loretta Lynch dark skinned? I wouldn't consider her dark skinned.
This trap that
I don't know what she
tried
looks
to
like.
lay for me.
She's not dark skinned.
I'm not going to get caught up in it.
Yeah, she's not dark skinned.
Tim
Scott is a coon.
And ethnically black, you have to be both.
Tim Scott is a coon, and you could say I don't think Loretta Lynch. I don't think you would call Kamala dark skinned. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
Kamala's brown. Kamala's
no,
like a brown
dark
skin.
skin and light skin changes by region.
Yes, 1,000%. Because I've had Pittsburgh has such an interesting metric for dark skin and light skin, and it's so
up here I'm dark.
Niggas be trying to call me light skin,
like brown skin, a regular girl.
It is weird. It is weird. So we're at 7:00. Do we want to get into our Do we have a book? Did we choose a book for today?
Man, you know how to read. Hold on, I can pull out something.
What we talked about.
I'm trying to find me a book by somebody that's biracial. Should I get? Hey, here we go. Here's one. The autobiography of W.E.B. Du Bois. Come on, yeah. Light-skinned brothers stand up.
You said biracial and Caribbean.
Light-skinned brothers stand up. The autobiography.
The Soul of Black Folks also would have been good.
Yeah, the autobiography of So yeah, let's shout out to W.E.B. Du Bois, and of course there was the whole. Was this the origin? Was Du Bois? Is it Du Bois? Du Bois? I always said Du Bois, but that might be some Negro speak. Was him versus Marcus Garvey? Was that the first? Was that the origin of light skin, dark skin?
That had to have been. Could you imagine if that was like the ether? That was like Drake versus Kanye back in the day. That was like the ether. I would have loved to see that shit in real life.
And I'll put out because somebody said, "Isn't he a lawyer?" At the end of the day, all of the legal battles that actually created the rights for Black people were passed and fought for by light-skinned Black people who used their passing privilege to actually create a world of equity. So I am not taking away the Blackness of light-skinned people. And y'all can call me a light-skinned bully, and it's fine.
Light-skinned bully.
It is what it is.
I like that, the light-skinned bully. And then our call to action. We have a lot. There's a lot happening these next few days. That's one hood related. A lot that's happening. So we got tomorrow at 7:00. Particularly if you're an artist, we want to tune in to Ask a Black Lawyer. Can you talk a little bit about what Ask a Black Lawyer is tomorrow?
Yes, Ask a Black Lawyer. We're talking about how to protect yourself, your legacy, your agency. We're talking about your copyright infringement because we know a lot of y'all out here, picking out new careers. And so we have Paul Ellis, Jackie Walker, and John Harris, who are three attorneys that work in with copyright, intellectual property, and legacy building. So you can figure out what you need to do, what you need to file to protect your work so people can steal it, reprint it, repost it, or make it an NFT and sell it.
No.
Can our Black excellence be Duane Howard?
Oh, I thought. Oh, you know what? No, man, we were supposed to. Did we find that video of the black man? I forgot our Black excellence was the black man that laid his.
Duane Howard. I just posted it up. Duane Howard was the first black man to slap a white man on the clock and not get fired.
During Black History Month.
During Black History Month, man.
Did you see she spit the smack? She did the smack, you know.
This year, I missed that.
That was hard.
Thank you, Glashonda.
But also too, Friday, you're doing something on Friday, Farouk. You want to talk a little bit about what you're doing on Friday?
I'm chilling.
Aren't you going to be at a Black Student Union conversation?
Oh, I thought you were asking like in my personal life. I was like, bro, like.
Why would he ask you that?
That's what I thought. I froze. I didn't know.
I was trying to. I was like, well, I heard Friday you were.
I was like, yeah, what am I doing on Friday? No, so actually we have a pretty busy week. As One Hood, we're all going to be at different universities speaking. My illustrious brother to my left, his right, is going to Cal U to talk about powerful niggardry. And I will be at the Black Student Union at Point Park here in the Pittsburgh area, talking about the importance of Black representation in student unions, mental health resources, and accessibility for students, which will also... What time? Oh, shit. 4 to 5 at Point Park University in the main hall. I don't know what it's called because I'm not really too familiar with that campus. But it's at the main hall. So if you want to come see me, there's going to be food, there's going to be some games. And this also kind of leads into an initiative Miracle and I are super excited about, which is a Black Student Union community network that One Hood is sponsoring. So if you or anybody you know work with secondary or post-secondary education level students that are involved with Black student unions or interested in creating one for their own institution, this is the network for you. This is going to be our second one. We're hoping to have them every month in hopes to grow a citywide Black student union for the use. And it's going to be catered. We're going to have it here at One Hood. It's going to be dope. Yeah, man. Wu-Tang is for the children.
Absolutely. And Trouble, you got something going on Friday as well, correct?
Yes, indeed. I'll be part of the winter marathon at WPTS. I'll be with some pretty cool artists. We're going to be talking about One Hood and, doing what we got to do to make sure we are supported by the community.
Absolutely. And like Farouk said, I'll be at Cal U from 5 to 7 o'clock, talking about, the media and kind of how we break down the media in the many ways we do it. So if you're at Cal U, come through. I think it's the Elderby building or something. Room 110. But we'll have everything. If you go to One Hood social media, we'll have everything up there.
I've never been to Cal U before. I just remember the commercial. Cal U.
I do not remember that.
Yeah,
you have something Miracle that you want to share?
Yes. Also, this Saturday.
Saturday.
Is that 26th? This is the Saturday. Yes. At 9:30 p.m. I am possibly Farouk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about this shit.
Yeah.
I just put.
Oh, y'all doing a little Lauren Harvey type of joint? What is y'all doing?
The what? Lori Harvey? She gonna be there?
Go ahead, Miracle.
I'll beat Michael B. Jordan's ass.
Can we take a moment to appreciate my growth and how I didn't make a joke about blackness at that moment?
Absolutely.
But, thank you. Monday live, Saturday 9:30 at the arcade. Farouk and I will be part of a show put on by Dave, talking about real Pittsburgh stories. Being, I don't know how you Pittsburgh say this stuff, like black in that, but about being black.
It's interesting. That's an English thing. Like we say in that. We say in that. Like your things in that.
Oh, I don't know how to say that.
You from England?
I mean, you know, I lived there for a very long time.
You said we, nigga.
Well, I mean, you know,
You got an American passport. Get out here.
I have a Canadian passport, nigga.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm sorry. Hey, yo.
Never invite us to Canada. You see how people be fake?
You know, I did want to talk. We don't have a time anymore, but did you see the Canadian protesters talking about my First Amendment rights?
Bro,
Nigga, that is nigga, you're in Canada, nigga. There's no First Amendment in Canada.
yes, there is.
Well, it's not freedom of
It's
speech.
not about the freedom of speech.
No, it's not,
it's about recognition of a territory.
Yeah,
So, like,
It's hilarious.
liberation from the Dominion of England. Yeah.
why do Americans just go abroad and act a fool? I would like to know. We need to have a conversation about like what are y'all doing and just like racist rehab. Maybe we gotta teach y'all how to travel abroad. But you know, some of the things that we're doing. In addition to celebrating Manny's birthday on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Is that yeah, that is Saturday. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Where is this arcade?
Downtown.
The one on okay. All right, cool. That makes sense.
Right.
But we'll have, if you can send us that, because I don't think we saw that flyer, Miracle. We're going to put all this stuff on One Hood Media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Up, look, we got the tickets to see the twins. Get your tickets.
The tickets to see the twins. That sounds perverse.
Why do you like this?
I'll leave that to you all.
Jesus.
So, with that being said, we will see y'all next Wednesday. This has been another episode of This Week in White Supremacy. Peace, y'all.
I always forget we have a chat to read.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and they wipe their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.